Alright, so we're back, and today we have a PS4 Pro. The seller said that this has the blue light of death, and instead of getting it fixed, he bought a PS5 and was just looking to sell this. So I paid, I think, $40 for it, which is a pretty good price for a PS4 Pro, I suppose. But yeah, so let's power it on. So the HDMI hub did in fact pick it up, but nothing seems to be appearing on the capture card. So we can go back to the camera. Yeah, it's still at a blue, still at a pulsating blue light. It doesn't look like it's going to go white. Can I power it off at all? Okay, so it did respond to the power button. So if I hold the power button in for it to beep 3 or 4 times, will it go to safe mode? No, I think it turned back off. Yeah, it just turned back off. So the eject works. So cannot get to safe mode. Never goes white. So I guess let's take the hard drive out. Alright, hard drive is out. Let's plug it back in and see if anything different has happened. No, so it's still stuck at blue, outputs no video at all. It does at least respond to power button. I don't know what that means, but at least it responds to the power button. Alright, so my thought is, will it boot if we press down on the CPU? I don't know. I don't know if it will, but we can give it a try. Okay, we're somewhere. So I put washers underneath the CPU, or underneath the bracket. So, yeah. So it's the CPU. Now we're at a white light, and as you can see, the console's on. So I think the CPU needs to be reballed. Is it gonna stay white? Is it gonna go ahead and boot all the way up? That'd be pretty cool. Alright, so it's rebooting, I think. Will it reboot? Alright, we're back to a blue light. I saw a flicker. And it's booting up. Is it going to go white again? I don't think so. Oh, okay, yeah, it did boot all the way up. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna have to order a stencil. I'm gonna have to pull the CPU off and reball the CPU and call it good. So that's awesome. So at least we know what's wrong with it. So that'll be the next thing we do. Trying to pull the CPU off and reball it. Alright, so I have the motherboard out. I've got a stencil. I'm hoping it's the correct stencil. So I've got the board on the preheater, and what I'm going to do is I am going to set the preheater to 300 degrees, and I'm going to measure the temperature on the top side of the board until it gets to about 150 degrees, which should take about 30 or 40 minutes. And then once it's up to temperature, then I am going to come in with the hot air and remove the chip. I'm going to flip it this way. So I've got to put something down there so I can flip it on. And yeah, so about 1 minute at 350, that chip should come right off. I'm hoping. And I am fully aware that my man Viva is going to flip his lid that I'm doing this, but I gotta see if it works. Yeah, I gotta see if you can pull one of these off with just a preheater and a hot air station without having to buy a fancy piece of equipment. So that is what we're going to do. So yeah, I need to find some tape. I don't know what happened to my, oh, here it is. I'm going to attempt to tape my temperature lead right in here somewhere. Actually, I'm going to tape these components right here just to ensure they don't move during this process. I don't know how well this tape will hold, but so I'll just make a landing pad with tape. Alright, so I think that's gonna be my plan. So we'll let this thing get up to temperature and then we will take it off. Alright, so we're about 169 from the top of the board. So I'm going to come in with the hot air until I can feel the chip moving. And then I'm going to flip it and hopefully not tear up anything. Alright, chip's moving. So I'm going to take my Q-tip. Just like that. Chip is off. So while the chip is off, I'm going to set it down and let it cool down. And I'm going to take some wick. First I got to cut on my soldering iron. I'm going to wick away the old pads. Alright, so we'll wait for everything to cool down, and then I'll move this big thing out of the way, and we will try to reball that CPU. Alright, let's go ahead and clean the IC off, or the CPU off. Alright, so I did my best to clean off the pads on the chip. That took forever to do. But I've got my template. It says I'm supposed to use 0.5mm balls. So let's go under the microscope and make sure this is lined up. All right, so this is where I'm at, man, with this PS4 APU Reball. I just took the jig off, or the template off, and as you can see, it's missing balls. Balls are shifted a little bit, but all in all, this is probably, out of the 40 times I've tried this, this is probably the closest I've had to uh, getting it pretty much on the first try. So the plan now is going to be to remove this chip and put it on my smaller chip holder so that I can hopefully and I'm taking this tip from one of my subscribers, RV, in he has his own repair channel, and he's always very helpful in comments. I'm going to take this off and put it on my other like so. Move the microscope a little closer. And so now you can see just kind of how the balls are not setting. In some places they're pretty much good. Other places I'm missing balls. And then, yeah, so it's always a chore. You have to go back and clean this. All right, so I finished the reball, and this is what it looks like. I'm thinking that after 40 tries, I think I finally got it. No idea if this chip still works or not. Like I said, I've done this a lot, and I've heated up the chip a lot. So I am gonna I plug this other microphone directly into, yeah, charge my lapel mic up. So I'm gonna go over these pads and make sure that all of the solder is off. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to cut some wick. Oh my lord, dude. I'm going to cut some wick. I've already done this when I took the chip off, but I'm going to do it again just to make sure that everything is perfectly flat. I'm going to use hot air combined with my soldering iron to wick away whatever's left on these pads. All right, I think that's got to be good enough now. I still feel little lumps and stuff on there, but that may be normal. I don't see any horn pads. I don't see any. It doesn't look like I need to do any touch up with solder mask. So I think this is gonna be good to go. Right here. I just went through my whole spiel about everything that I was going to do. I didn't even press the record button. So I've got the chip on there the way it's supposed to be. I've got it lined up what I believe to be perfectly. And now I just need to find my thermometer. Yeah, I think it's still on there good. All right, so I am going to heat this thing up to, it's probably going to take like 45 minutes. move this over some. It's not resting on a capacitor. Yeah, so I'm going to heat it up, and then we're gonna do our best to get it set on there. So, all right, we're gonna hit it with heat. All right, I think. So now we just need to wait for it to cool down. I did bump it after the fact. I think the solder balls had melted from the preheater because they were still melted. Hopefully I didn't bump it too far. That's what I hate about doing this stuff, because you never know. There's like a million things that could go wrong, and you got to do all of them right. We'll see.
So because I'm getting used to this new camera and these new microphones, I neither record it nor video or my voice. But essentially what happened is I put it back in the chassis, put thermal paste, and put it back together another test. And when I turned it on, the blue light came on. And that was already a step in the right direction for me. But as I watched it, it eventually went white. And so I turned it off, plugged in the HDMI cable, and that's where this clip of the video picks up. It actually boots up. So we'll move into the next part of the video, which is me putting it back through so I can give it a full test.
All right, here we go. It's back together a little more thoroughly. Going to power it on. We're going to switch over to scene 2. It's still booting up. Cannot start the PS4. Let's hit, you know what? Let's hit cancel on that. We're going to try to boot it into safe mode, because this had an operating system on it. All right, second beat. All right. Let's initialize PS. No, cancel. How do I? Yes. Let's see if we can initialize the system and bring it back up. Test. Oh man, I'm absolutely relieved. No, back. I need to go back. Yeah, this might have been a UK system. All right, so if this is a UK system, will it play American games? I did it.
Nice.
It took me 2 months, but I did it. Fine, bro. You wouldn't better do it at all.
I'm not doing Diagnosing.
Look, I don't care about your CFD. All right, y'all, there she is. She's all put back together, just how I got her. Got it back on. Still make sure she's still booting up. She is indeed. So yeah, man, this is absolutely amazing. So, and to be honest with you, I would have given up if it hadn't been for Riazzoni. I can't pronounce his channel name, but I'm gonna leave a link in his in my description. He always comments on my videos with very helpful comments. When he did a PS4 APU Reball, and I watched it, and I kind of saw what he did, and then I made a comment on his video, and he was just, it's just patience, basically. You just have to walk away from it for a while and then come back. And so yeah, so that's what I did. I woke up this morning and I said, you know what, we're gonna try to do it again. And dude, I'm so thankful this is over. This has been pressing on my brain for 2.5 months now, trying to figure out how to do it. But I'm just, dude, I'm beyond words. It is truly something that I didn't ever think I'd be able to do. But I've done it once, and now I know I can do it. And I'll be faster next time. I understand more about flux, and I understand more about the temperatures of when you're actually soldering the balls onto the pad, when to add more flux so that they jump onto their pads like they're supposed to. All of those things are like a feel, and it's like trial and error to figure out. And I'm a slow learner, so it took me quite a few tries to start to get the feel of it based upon what I was seeing through the microscope. But the easiest part of the whole process, and the thing I was worried about the most, was putting the chip back on. I lined it up, and I think those solder balls melted before I even added hot air. I think the preheater had melted the solder, and it was already in place. Because when I bumped it, it moved after I had taken away the heat. So yeah, man, dudes, I'm very tickled. I'm very tickled about this. Hopefully I recorded it all. I kept getting frustrated and wouldn't record and do a bunch of stuff without recording. So anyhow, all right, man, y'all be good.